Okay, as I mentioned earlier, I'm Jaleesa Dixon, and I am here to talk to you guys about becoming being a productive student and worker. So just so I know just right now who my audience is and who I'm speaking to, how many of you all plan on working while you're studying here? Two out of three? Okay, that's fine. You probably will at some point. You're going to need money. That's just part of the whole thing. So the big part of that is balance. You guys are going to hear me saying that a lot. Balance, balance, balance. And the other thing you're going to hear me saying a lot is a 2-year plan. Shantia mentioned that a lot. You guys are coming here. I'm taking it that everyone here plans to graduate within 2 years. Releases on the track. Not saying you necessarily have to. I know from a few of us Hillmans here, we don't necessarily take that track. But you all do want to, at least intend to have the intent of going in 2 years. So, being a productive student worker, and that doesn't necessarily mean that you're a worker on campus or that you're just working, period, but it's a 2-part process for being a student on campus and also working on your career. That is work as well. Okay, why is this important? So, Princeton Review ranked top 10 things that college students, college freshmen, wish that they had learned prior to attending college. The number one thing, time management. Time management, very, very important. It's something that a lot of people think they understand or think they can realize that once they get into college, but it takes a learning process and it's a learning curve to figure out what you actually need to do to manage your time. The second thing, I say this on every single one of my tours, I'm also a tour guide on campus in addition to working with undergraduate admissions, is college is much more than an academic development or challenge. It's also an emotional and a social one as well. So in addition to being challenged academically, just as a student period, you're also going to be challenged emotionally and socially, how you're working with other people and just how you feel as an individual. That definitely is something that you're going to have to adapt to. Which brings me to my next point. Your adjustment time is shorter as a transfer student. So most individuals, they've come here, they've been here since they're freshmen, they've been here for 2 years, they've kind of already got down pat where classes are, who their friends are, what places to go, what places to hang out. They've already kind of got that figured out within 2 years. You guys are coming in on a junior, senior level, sophomore, junior, whichever level you're at. So your adjustment time is always just a little bit different than some other juniors and seniors that have already been here. So definitely keep that in mind. So often when I'm meeting with people and I say, oh, I'm a junior or I'm a sophomore or whatever, they'll say, oh, where did you live for your first 2 years, or who was your first class, or did you do this? And they talk about their experience as they had as a freshman. And because I'm coming in from a transfer, I'm really having the quote-unquote freshman experience because this is my first time being on campus, but you are a junior or a sophomore, so you're at a different level. So it's kind of balancing even that out, having that freshman experience because it's the first time you're going through something, but also you're going through it at the junior level. So a lot of times your professors and your classes, they are expecting you to know everything or know everything about the campus because they consider you to have been here for 2 years. Which brings me to my last thing. Success in the classroom is as important as success in your career. It's not simply college is not simply that's not a college skill, but that's a life skill. What I mean by that is that just because you have all A's in your classes doesn't mean you're going to have all A's in your life, really. It definitely is a 2-part process. So though everyone would like to have 4.0 and have all A's and just that be the number one thing that's in your life, but you're going to have to really balance it out because not only are you thinking about I'm going to be graduating in 2 years, but what are the steps and the skills that I need to take on after that? So, adjustment to a new college culture. Dorothy, we are not in Kansas anymore. Yeah, I put that out there for you guys. University of Maryland, very, very different than Prince George's. So definitely take the time to realize that before coming here. It's going to take some time. You're going to have to take time to transition. Community college is a lot different than a 4-year institution, and as I said earlier, people are going to expect you to know everything because you're coming as a junior. So definitely just take some time to get that figured out. Everything is not going to kind of go your way. You're going to have some pitfalls. You're going to have some things that are going to be challenging, but just be aware that those things are going to happen and be upfront about it and say, I'm having an issue with this. I'm having a problem with that. Direct any issues or concerns head on. Ask someone. You guys are very, very lucky that we are even doing this student panel right now, because this is some of the things that we didn't get coming as Hillman entrepreneurs, and we were kind of really thrown right into the situation and said, okay, sink or swim, figure it out. And we know when we talked about it with our experiences here that that was one of the challenging things. Coming to a large university, not really knowing anyone besides other Hillmans, and them not really knowing everything because they are going through the same things that you are, because we're all kind of being thrown into this at a junior level, but also receiving it as a freshman experience because it's our first time being here. So definitely ask one of us, ask Shantia, ask Dr. Carlson. Don't put yourself in a situation where you think you can handle it on your own. Even if it's small, ask someone. They can really help you out. You just have to really be on top of it. The next thing, make sure you understand exactly what is expected of you. That is very, very important. That's in your classroom, that's in your job, that's in your clubs, anything that you're working with. So direct issues, like I said, this is a large school. One thing I have here is if you don't fight and protect yourself, you'll fall through the cracks. And that's what I mean by making sure you know what's expected of you. Sometimes your professors, as I said earlier, will expect more of you because you're in their classes and you're at a junior level. You're taking 300 and 400 level classes. If there is something that you don't know or you're just concerned about or you have not had the background in, tell the professor, tell somebody, at least go up to them and say, I didn't really learn about this in my previous institution. We did things a little bit differently. Can you kind of let me know exactly what you're expecting? Because, again, they may use some terminology. They may say some things that, when you guys took, the prerequisite class for this class, you learned this. Maybe you didn't learn those things. Definitely be very, very aware that you understand what they're asking for you and that they understand what they should be expecting for you. That's a two-way street. Also with your career, if you guys are working and going to school, let your jobs know. It works out better if you're more honest about it than just, trying to not tell your job that you're taking on, 5 new classes and maybe you're going to come into work late one day or you're going to be dealing with a lot of outside stresses. It's just great if your boss, your career, your employers, whoever you're working with, that they know the situation. Say, I'm starting school. I know I've been in community college for the past 2 years and I was able to work my schedule around my job, but that may not necessarily be the case anymore, so you guys need to be able to work with me. And that's one of the reasons why I really promote getting a job on campus, because they do recognize that you're a student first and the job comes second. If you have a job that's off campus, they may not be as lenient or as flexible to working with you because of that. But do try to let your employers know about that. The third thing, if you're in a club and organization, some of you guys who know me, you know that I'm the individual that gets involved in everything. And it can be very challenging. And at Prince George's, I was able to function being involved with everything. Here, that isn't necessarily the case. Just from my own personal story, I got involved in a few organizations, and they expected me to go to all of their meetings, to go to their social events, to do a lot of different things that I just could not manage it all. And eventually I had to go to the officers and say, you know what, I'm really not, the right person for this. You guys are going to have to find another person to expect to do this much, because I was not expecting this much of a commitment from this club. So just, again, being very honest, being very open about how you're adapting and learning what you need to do in order to be successful here. And with that, that's just having everyone on the same page, knowing exactly what you're coming up for. So, set priorities and organizing yourself. This is 2 different ways. I just talked about some of the goals, a way to make goals. You're going to have classroom goals and you're going to have career goals. Now, your classroom goals, essentially I expect they're going to be short-term goals because you're going to be achieving them over the next 2 years. But also take it one step at a time. Say, hey, this semester, this is what I want to do. Develop SMART goals. So SMART goals being specific, measurable, make those plans action-orientated, realistic, and timely. Be specific with your goals. Don't say, hey, I want to graduate summa cum laude. That's not really a specific goal. I mean, yes, that's something you may want to do, but how are you going to do that? Can you measure that? Is that achievable for you? What actions are you going to take to get towards those goals? And can you make that in a timely fashion? For those long-term goals for your career, maybe something like, I want to be in an internship in my profession before I graduate. Something like that. Making that a long-term career goal rather than just a classroom goal. Another thing with these goals, I try to tell individuals, or what I've been asking some of my peers, is what helps you be successful in college and what is something that you look to when you're developing these goals. And what I got from individuals, they told me that find something that you love or need to do and set everything else around that. Everyone has something that they just need to do, something they need to love that helps them kind of move forward. I know one of my friends, her goal is she has to get 8 hours of sleep. She has to get 8 hours or she feels like she cannot function. So she's planned her day around those 8 hours. If she doesn't get something done within those 8 hours, she has to push it to the next day. Maybe it's, I have to go to a movie every weekend. It can be something like that. And you will plan your schedule or your week around, this is something I'm going to do because I need this for myself. And you can be very selfish about it. It can be anything. I know Kevin, I hate to throw him out there, he's not in here. He likes to go and get wings from Wild Wings every Tuesday. He wants those 50-cent wings, and he will plan his schedule around going to get these wings because he wants to go and have those wings and watch a game. That's what he does. And so everyone kind of has something that they like to do or that they enjoy, and it's good to find ways to decompress, which that brings me to my next slide. Okay, establishing a 2-year plan. Thank you, Shantia, for saying that. A few times today. Find out what experiences you want to have during your time here. As you mentioned earlier, that Blackboard site, very, very helpful, and that should be very, very essential to you. It is definitely, I would say, a great place to start figuring out what experiences you want to have while you're here. The great thing about University of Maryland, is kind of a blessing and a curse, is that they have everything here for you. They have so many resources here for you. There is probably enough stuff to do in 2 or 3 lifetimes here at the University of Maryland. And you can't necessarily take, everything. So it really requires you to understand what you are, what you're about, and what experiences you actually want. One thing for me that was really important to me was studying abroad. That was something I knew I wanted to do. So I made sure that I was taking steps and always planning to complete that and also complete school within 2 years. Now, I am a semester over, so I definitely made a sacrifice in that regard. But figure out what it is that you want to do. Maybe it's a research opportunity. Maybe it's an internship. Maybe it's starting your own organization. Maybe it's joining a fraternity or sorority. Whatever that is, make sure that it fits into your 2-year plan and that you're thinking about that. And you're not just, well, I've registered for these classes and I'm not really sure what I'm going to graduate. Absolutely know what you need to graduate and how you're going to complete those things and get just, all of the fun things done and out of the way within 2 years. So that brings me to considering your options and your goals for post-graduation. Because you guys are coming in and expect to graduate in 2 years, we're also expecting within 2 years that you will be starting your career. Everyone wants to have a job after college, right? Is that a goal everyone has? So start to think about, okay, what industry do I want to work in? What jobs are out there for me? Start researching your major. How many people that have graduated within your major have jobs right now? Where are they working? Where are their jobs? It is a tough economy out there. You guys really, really have to research the market and research your industry and find out exactly what you plan to be doing and making steps toward that plan within your 2 years. So that's something to keep in mind when you're, thinking about your 2-year plan. Okay, don't forget to have fun. College is definitely the place and kind of the opportunity where you don't have as many obligations in terms of, maybe family, children, things like that. So definitely try to take advantage of the things that are here for you. So, as I said earlier, find something that makes you happy and commit to doing that, whatever that is for you. I know for me, I love to plan parties. I don't know what it is. It's not even the party itself, it's the planning process. I love to go out and buy little trinkets, and they're like the cheesiest parties ever. I mean, I have milk and cookies parties. It's really kind of, it's, just that's something I enjoy doing. And then, so every 2 weeks, especially during the summer or every, month or whenever I can, I commit to, I'm going to have a party this month about whatever, just to have fun, or Halloween or Easter, whatever it is. That is something I commit to doing every single month because I need to enjoy, my life while I'm here as well. So that's, the activity that I do. I also enjoy giving tours on campus. That's another thing that I do, and that is an extension of the undergraduate admissions position, and that's the activity that I join. And with that activity, I was able to find other individuals that also enjoy giving tours, but they're also maybe within my program. I always try to like find piece two things together. So you want to have something that's non-academic, but also you're maybe meeting with people that are academic, that you can kind of put the two together. So if you're in an organization, say you're in a fraternity sorority, maybe you're in ODK or something like that, find the people within it that you like, and then also find out what networks do they have. How can those individuals help you build your network? How can they help you get an internship, or just building on just yourself and as a student here? So always find activities that serve two purposes. They're allowing you to socialize, but they're also building a network for you. And this may sound a little kind of conceited or whatever, but you want to have friends that can do something for you. You want to have friends, or at least finding people to socialize with that have something that they can offer you outside of just a social environment. Maybe you're here right now. I met you through a social event, but you're in the Hillman Entrepreneurs now, and now we can also connect on that level as well. Everyone needs to decompress their stress. For any of the psychology majors in here, I'm sure you guys know about the decompressing. College is a very stressful situation. It's hard. It's emotional. You're going to go through kind of an up and down thing, especially when things are not going your way and you're finding challenges in your classes and with professors and with meeting people in your environment. It is kind of a stressful thing. So always find some ways to decompress daily, whatever that is. If it's music, if it's yoga, if it's working out, find something that you can do every day at the end of your day or at the beginning of your day to de-stress from all of the things that you're going through throughout the school year. So that is my last slide. So are there any questions, comments, whatever? Appreciate that.